Welcome to Mixed Signals, broadcasting from somewhere just beyond the edge of good judgment on the planet Florbus.
I'm Lynx.
And I'm Nox.
We're two alien cats trying to make sense of human news, strange ideas, and whatever else drifts through the cosmic static.
Every episode, we tune into these signals bouncing around your world, current events, weird stories, and the occasional thought that probably should have stayed in deep space.
So adjust your antenna, clear the interference, and settle in.
Because if the signal sounds a little mixed, you're probably listening to the right show. Okay.
I do have to say that I like AI. I know that it has a lot of drawbacks and there's a lot of pros and cons with it, just like with everything. But I think that some of its utility does outweigh a lot of the negative aspects of it.
I don't know. I mean, it's a great tool. Don't get me wrong. I do like the fact that it's a tool. It's just what it's replacing at such a rapid rate without who's teaching anything about AI? Like, are there colleges or high schools or anything? Like, is this even being taught anywhere yet?
I have no
Because it's
idea.
pretty much in every. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's in everything. Your phone, texting apps, your tablets, your TVs, your
Banks
pretty much
use
everything.
it.
Actually, the bank we have leased here, one of them, won't use it
Oh, really?
because I guess that's something like they're scared it might make a mistake, but at the same time, like humans do the same thing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's a lot of tasks that I would rather handle with a human, and then there's a lot of tasks that I would rather just give to a machine. You do it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it'd be bad if machines replace like the quick, easy tasks, for quick money, or just the easier maybe way of doing it, but not like the professional.
What do you mean by that? Because we're moving towards a future of automation, regardless of whether we like it or not.
I know, unfortunately. I would just like there to still be, people around to be able to still do things
I
if
think
they
that
want to.
I think that the thing that's going to change is that people are going to start doing things because they want to instead of because they have to.
Yeah, but that also if, we get some UBIs or something also, you
Eh,
would have to give people some kind of
I,
money in the meantime until they find what they can, they're passionate about if there's no jobs because AI takes everything.
UBI makes me feel icky.
I understand. I completely understand that aspect about it. I just don't know of another way. I mean, it's not like everybody can just wake up one day and say, hey, I'm going to use something. Some people are very good with technology. Other people, all they can really do is use TikTok and that's it.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's some folks that can't even do that.
Yeah, and we're talking about younger people too. And then there's some young kids, like freaking 5, 6 that can completely reprogram your phone if you so want.
I'll
Or
probably.
choose. There's some very smart kids at the same time.
AI really is an interesting puzzle. It really is. Because there's a lot of benefits that it comes with.
Just don't like the idea of we keep getting things that keep replacing humans, but we don't ever seem to be getting things to counteract it.
I think a lot of it's, people need hobbies, man.
Yeah, but we live in a day and age where everything is so monetized. So most people have hobbies usually try to monetize them on YouTube, TikTok, or Twitter or something.
Yeah.
Look at my new Pokemon deck. Look at my new thing. Why are they doing that? Are they doing it because they really do still love the game? They've been doing it for 10 plus years.
I mean,
Maybe
me
they want to
sitting.
try something else, and when they try to do something else on stream or YouTube or Twitter, people stop watching.
I'm sitting here with a stack of Magic the Gathering cards next to me as you mentioned them. I'd like, collectible cards and stuff like that, just because I'm obsessed with them, and I've always have been, and I always will be. Even if they do continue to do the retarded Universes Beyond stuff.
Yeah, I just don't get that stuff.
I'm not really a
is
fan of
what it is,
SpongeBob
but-
in my Magic the Gathering game, but I don't mind so much like the more Magic adjacent stuff. Like, I didn't mind the Final Fantasy set. That was okay.
God, I think the Chocobo bows are thousands of dollars, aren't they? Because there's only like 10 or 100 or something printed.
Certain editions of them, like there's like limited art styles and stuff like that, but there are lower versions that you can get. I'm pretty sure Sat's Chocobo and things like that.
Forgot what it was, but a buddy of mine bought some, and yeah, he was buying them because he was hoping to get a Chocobo.
Yeah,
Here's
funny
something
thing
I don't
is,
get, okay? So people buy Magic cards, like my buddy. He buys them, but yet no one plays with him because he makes decks too good, but he won't play a crappier deck just for fun.
which buddy would
What's
that
the
be?
point then?
Oh, I know which buddy you're referring to.
I was about to say, I'm trying to keep names out of this.
I know which buddy you're referring to. Okay, so yeah, that is definitely an issue. I think that people tend to go, oh, let me just put $10,000 worth of cards in this deck.
One month he spent $500.
That's
and he got a card.
insane.
Apparently that's $500, but he's been trying to sell it for 6 months.
Yikes.
So it's like, okay, so
You break
it's kinda
even,
like
but
when
even
people
then
say
you're not
all the
really
time,
breaking
this is
even.
worth this amount of money, right? I say this car is worth $50 trillion or something like that. Is it?
It's only worth whatever someone's willing to pay
long
for it.
enough, yeah. If it sits there long enough, maybe. But at the same time, the value goes down.
Well, it's
Or
only
up, depending.
it's only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it.
Oh yeah, and what kind of makes a lot of stuff just kind of worthless when you think about it.
It does.
Like how the economy's set up right now, it's like, do you want a car to go to house, or I'm sorry, to go to the job, to go to grocery store to get food, or do you want a house? Wait, but if you have house, you don't have car.
Yeah.
Just with like the prices I'm talking about.
Right. Right. It is definitely a double-edged sword when it comes to things like that.
It is, unfortunately. It's I'm not really sure where's a right answer, because any way I've thought of it, it's just like there's always just another way you could mess it up.
Yeah,
I don't
but
believe there's like one clear, one answer be the
I'm also
be
of the
all
mind
all.
that even though that you don't really have a good way to safeguard against the bad thing that could potentially happen, doesn't mean you shouldn't do the thing that could potentially lead to the bad thing if the good thing outweighs the bad thing.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying, because that's kind of like the nuclear bomb.
Exactly. Just like the nuclear bomb. What we did was bad, but we had to do it because it was necessary.
That's about it. Just like the dude said, I've become deaf.
Sometimes you do bad thing to get good thing done.
Me do good to do bad.
That's right. Really
Me
though,
ain't mad.
that's honestly the best way to look at it too, in my opinion. The way to view it is that yes, that this is going to impact a lot of people negatively, but ultimately in the long run, I think it is going to be beneficial. I mean, it's already being used in applied sciences, medical, material sciences, and things like that. And
I'm
now,
not saying it doesn't have its place. Never did not say that. Sorry.
apparently it's got a pretty good place in gaming too.
I don't want no freaking games, man. Come on.
We've got DLSS 5 now coming up.
DLSS 5. I don't have a graphics card in DLSS, unfortunately.
Here's
We
what
can
we
get some
got.
shiny stuff. Oh, that that looks AI generated, like
Yeah.
a video.
It's actually not bad, though.
It's not, but at the same time, look how it moves once it's converted over to DSSL. It's generating well. Yeah, look at that. It's generating well it's moving. It looks like.
I think that may improve over time because you can see some vague outlines and stuff too. Remember, this is the worst it'll
Oh,
ever
hey, look,
be.
they got rid of the dead eyes.
They did get rid of the dead eyes.
Now they got deader eyes.
Now they have deader eyes. Honestly, though, look at that. That's actually not bad.
It's not. It's kind of creepy. That didn't make too much of a change right there. Well, I won't lie.
Well, it improved the lighting. It made him look less plastic. Yeah, see, look
Yeah.
at the skin texture.
Yeah, but then you see the animation, right? It still looks stiff and clay-like, fake, false.
So, what was this? Yesterday, NVIDIA today unveiled NVIDIA DLSS 5, the company's most significant breakthrough in computer graphics since the debut of real-time ray tracing in 2018. DLSS 5 introduces a real-time neural rendering model that infuses pixels with photoreal lighting and materials. Bridging the divide between rendering and reality, DLSS 5 empowers game developers to deliver a new level of photoreal computer graphics previously only achieved in Hollywood visual effects.
I would say. I mean,
Honestly?
how it looks. Yeah, it's creepy how it actually kind of, like you were saying, how actually good it looks. Hate to say it.
I'm honestly impressed.
It is uncanny, but at the same time, it does look good.
I hate to admit it. Like, honestly though, I don't have a GPU that'll run it.
Yeah, ditto.
Since the dawn of GeForce, NVIDIA has tried to deliver the graphics horsepower required for games developers to create incredible realistic worlds where lighting, reflections, and shadows obey the laws of nature. From programmable shaders with GeForce 3 in 2001 to CUDA with GeForce 880 GTX in 2006 to real-time ray tracing with GeForce RTX 2080 Ti in 2018 to path tracing and neural shaders with GeForce RTX 5090 in 2025, NVIDIA has delivered major architectural innovations and a massive 35,000 times increase in compute to meet this challenge.
Jesus.
That's impressive.
Getting scary out here, in my opinion.
It is. Honestly, though, if it can make games better, why not? Why not? If it can make games better, why not? If developers can fucking focus on just making the game and make that their sole priority, and then let the graphics be handled by AI, is that a bad thing?
I mean, the graphics are technically, you could argue.
I mean, like the running the anti-aliasing and doing all of the smoothing and running all of the texture filtering and doing all of the shader building, all of that stuff on the GPU, instead of a developer who's trying to make it, like, say, a photorealistic game, for example, sitting there and handcrafting photorealistic textures, which is kind of insane.
I don't know. It's just one more. It's just one more way of making the game, or the game industry to death, basically.
Well, it doesn't bring the games industry to its death. It brings AAA games to their knees because it lowers the floor to entry for developers.
Maybe some validity to that, or I can't speak.
Validity.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, the reason that I'm pro this argument is I think everybody should be able to make games.
I agree with that standpoint, but at like what cost? Just telling something to do something to make something?
Well, I mean, it should have a degree of. You should at least know what you want out of it, you know?
That's like people using for their YouTube channels. People know exactly what they want out of it. They want money.
Well,
And there's enough people that don't know what they're looking at.
yeah, to
I
a
don't know,
degree.
it's more illusions, it's just more false illusions in my opinion.
But if it's not, if it's functionally the same, what's the difference? And then, like I
AI
said,
doesn't need to buy groceries.
AI doesn't need to buy groceries. You're right.
That's the difference.
There are also other jobs that need to be done too.
Well, where's a coder gonna go if all the coding jobs are taken? That's his only skill he knows.
Put the fries in the bag.
So he goes from making six figures
Yep.
to making well, that sucks.
Welcome to the world. This is what happens.
Yeah, but I think
This is reality. Look at what happened. Look at what happened to people after industry exploded. People that were rich became poor. People that were poor became rich. Things changed.
Yeah, but we're not going to see something like that. It's going to be that whoever's rich right now is going to stay rich, and everybody else is just going to have the illusion that they have some sort of wealth, and they don't.
Well, yeah, you're always going to have that top 1% that's always going to be vastly outweighing everybody else in performance. There's nothing that's going to change about that. Period. But if you can at least make your life a little bit more enjoyable, why not do it? Again, playing the devil's advocate.
I get what you're saying, but it just doesn't compute in my mind, because the only thing that's going to happen, in my opinion, is the same thing that's been happening. That's just going to be a whole bunch of just copy and paste crap put out there in different tones, textures, and if we're talking about games, so it'd be the exact same game, just with slightly tweaked artistics.
I think that the vast majority would be like that.
Literally will play the exact same game.
I think the vast majority would be like that. I think the ones that'll be successful will be the ones that'll be able to make it unique with those tools.
Right, but when you have that many tools, here's the problem with a lot of this stuff: saturation. So even if you have the greatest game, it's going to be pushed under all the gloop.
I would argue. I argue against that.
So fast.
I'll argue against that. I don't believe in the saturation rules. I don't think that's I think that's bullshit. To be totally honest, I don't care how much content there is. If that content is all the same, and then this one little unique thing is there, you're gonna find that one little unique thing. Yeah, it might be like a needle in a haystack, but it will get found, and as soon as somebody finds it, it will be announced. It will be broadcasted. How do you think games like Schedule 1 blew up?
Yeah, but Schedule 1 wasn't sitting there for years, correct me if I'm wrong, in development, hoping
it wouldn't
pray
be.
to God, after release, selling their game for like $5 every time there's a sale. They've been on this for 5 years, putting it on for 99 cents, and yet they still only have 500 people bought the game.
Yeah. Well, that's just like with anything. If you want,
and then they give up, right? And then 10 years later, someone else, they find the game, best game ever. Everybody blows up on the internet.
Well, it's just like with anything.
He's not making games anymore.
It's just like with anything, though. If you want your product to be successful, you're gonna have to do some level of promotion. You're gonna have to push it. You're gonna have to be a little bit annoying. You know, it might have to cost you some money.
Isn't that where AI should come in to help the games in? That's where I would want AI to help me, not with touching the game, but marketing, doing everything else I don't want to do.
See, I would rather do the marketing. I would rather handle the design phase. I want to be the one that's in control of, this is what I want the game to be, this is how I want it to look, this is how I want it to handle, this is how I want it to perform. And then I want to do the micromanagement. And then I want to let the tool do the job. Instead of paying an editor.
Of how that feels and looks is done during the process of making a game. Because before a game's made, there's usually a whole bunch of different prototypes they take to their bosses and stuff.
No, usually they build a vertical slice, one vertical slice, and bring it to their boss.
Yes, but multiple vertical slices of different game, or I'm sorry, one vertical slice but of different games until they find something that sticks. And some people even work on their off time or their downtime, like breaks and stuff, to make a vertical slice of a game that they're passionate about that they will want to go show the director.
See, and I think that's part of the problem. Games are too corporatized. So if we get away from that, and if an individual can make a game, you're going to start seeing a lot more variation. Maybe you won't see graphic variation, but you're going to see actual game differences. Because there's a lot of different kinds of games. You know, you got people that want RTS games. You got people that want turn-based RPGs. You got people that want, what are those called? The gacha games. There's so many different kinds of games that I don't think that we're going to run into that issue that you're concerned with, where everything is going to look exactly the same. I think that the problem is with everything looking exactly the same right now is because there's too much corporatocracy involved. But if you hand that power to the
a lot of indie game companies even freaking try to go photorealistic when it's like, well, that's the worst thing to try to do. Then you're arson. You're trying to admit that, hey, I'm trying to compete with the big boys.
Well, no, photorealism is an art choice too.
I don't know.
You don't have to be competitive with photorealism to be happy with the results you get.
A good example of what I'm scared of is how many crappy survival horror games do we freaking have? Trillions.
And that's because they're easy to make.
Never found.
That's because they're easy to make. Because most of the time, survival horror games don't require anything.
All games easy to make. Saturation of the entire market.
Well, yeah, all games would be easy to make.
Yeah, that's my point. So if you think if you try,
the market's going to get saturated. That's no matter what you do. Full stop. The market's already saturated. There's nothing stopping that. AI or not.
You can desaturate a little bit though, because that would enhance it to the point where it's like living 30 of our lifetimes in a span of an hour.
Well, I don't think it'd be quite that much.
Video games sell like hotcakes, and you give people the ability to make it just by a prompt. Yeah, it's gonna.
Well, it wouldn't be able to be just made by a prompt. It would be an iterative thing that would take probably a couple of months at least.
Or just a company programming an AI to tell the AI to make games and have it pumping out at record speed. And then you have a new game literally being posted every minute by the same company.
It wouldn't be possible. You still have to run. You still have to have quality control by a human. You have to have a human.
Steam. Even Steam, unfortunately, is failing with a lot of their quality control stuff slipping through the cracks because there's just so much being pumped out, and that's actually thanks to AI. So if Steam's having a problem right now,
Steam doesn't control quality. That's not their job. Steam is a platform.
Well, they control like viruses and stuff, where like they're supposed to run. They're supposed to run the game through to make sure there's no viruses or malware.
That's different than quality control. What I mean in quality control is you have to have a human that plays the game to know that the game is a game and not just some random generated nonsense. I mean, there's no way to get around that step. You have to have somebody who can literally see what's going on and give input to the machine. No matter what, there's always going to be somebody involved. There's always going to be a person involved. I don't think that you're going to get pumping out games like that. Well, yeah, but if you just use an agentic AI to say, for example,
YouTube tries to do quality control, but yet somehow stuff still gets uploaded. You still get some X-rated content from time to time posted and stuff like that, or
Well,
worse stuff.
yeah, a lot of it is if
And
it's
there's people
got
looking
an
at it
educational
and
tag, for
AI.
example, it will bypass those filters.
Yeah, so all
That's
again would
not
have to
even an
do is make the
accidental thing.
first
That's intentional. That's
10
somebody
hours
abusing the
playable.
algorithm.
Yes, but that's what people are gonna do. That's what I'm trying to say. But they're gonna abuse it with games.
That's fine. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, that's your take on it, man. That's just the death of a market, in my opinion.
Well, good. The market needs to die. The problem is the way the market is running is it's handled by a small minority of companies that all keep pumping out the same junk anyways. It's all crap.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. Pretty much everything sucks right now, and now we have people touching it, making everything worse because they have AI tools.
I don't think that that's the people touching it making it worse. I think that it's corporations expecting to get a specific thing out of it. I think AI has potential to actually deliver a good product. I think it actually has potential to make something useful.
I didn't say it couldn't make something useful nor something great. I was just arguing it's going to flood the market. It's going to end up doing the exact opposite of what you're hoping it will do.
And my argument is that the market's already flooded. Look how many games get posted to Steam every day, regardless of... This is before even AI was happening. How many games were getting posted to Steam in 2018 every single day?
No, you're right. It's a crap ton, but it's how many are being posted now. They're little bitty cheap games.
What's wrong with little bitty cheap games?
Every time I go with, or anytime I pretty much go to look for a game, I have to filter through like 900 AI-generated crap games. They're all like $1 or $2, especially during sales. My God, during sales.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that. If it's $1 or $2, it doesn't bother me. If it's a $15 game, it still don't bother me. I won't buy it if it doesn't interest me. The market will dictate what is and is not successful. And if you are concerned about not being able to find things, filter better.
A market is, well, if you can't get the product to the market, it doesn't really matter in the first place. The market can't dictate shit if it can't get to the people.
That's where advertising comes into play.
Life curing drug, but if I can't get it to the people that actually need it, what's the point of making it? So we put it behind a paywall.
Well, everything's behind a paywall. Everything.
Well, not everything's behind a paywall.
Well, what's not?
No, everything is behind a paywall.
Okay.
I was not arguing that fact.
Okay, I thought you cut out for a second.
Oh yeah, no, everything is behind a paywall.
Now, I just think that either you embrace what's coming or you get left behind. Those are the two options that we have. And I'm going to choose the option that's going to give me the greatest potential for success.
Hey, that's fine.
And I'm not trying to...
Everybody's allowed to do what they want to do. I'm just trying to say the market, it won't be good in the end.
Market's already not good. It's already not good. It's been not good for a long time. Last time that the market was really good, I would argue, was The Witcher 3.
$2012, I think, when The Witcher 3 came out?
Yeah. It's been a long time.
I'd argue about 2008, 2009.
I don't know. The Witcher 3 was pretty good times. There were some good games that came around then.
Not a lot. Like, if you go back like 2008, how many games that came out just that year?
I'm curious. 2015 was when Witcher 3 came out. Yeah, because that was when Fallout 4 came out too, wasn't it?
Came out 12?
Witcher 3?
No, not 12.
15.
14?
15.
15? Yeah.
Fallout 4 also came out in 15. What else came out in 2015? Undertale, Bloodborne, Black Ops 3, that was a fan favorite. Dying Light, that was a good one. Let's see. Witcher 3, Soma, it was an incredible game. Batman Arkham Knights, people liked that game. Mortal Kombat 10 was a good game. I don't know how anybody that played the Assassin's Creed Syndicate game, but it came out in 2015.
Nah, I didn't play it.
But there was a bunch of good games that came out. Oh, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, there were a couple of good fans of that game. You know, it was a good market back then, even for AAA studios.
Well, I'd argue it actually was better for AAA studios than for indie. Right now, it's better for the indie than AAA because the AAA studios just don't give a market. But then again, I don't believe that a whole bunch of people in other countries, like they do all the time with scams and stuff, are gonna sit here and say, "What's gonna make the coolest game?"
Oh well, yeah.
They're
Well,
gonna go,
there's
"What's
nothing
gonna
you're
make the most
ever.
money?"
You're never ever gonna get away from that. That's why you have gold scammers and gold traders and buyers and sellers and MMOs and even some single player games.
Yeah, and that could cause people to actually stop trusting in games in general to play and start finding some other source of entertainment.
People already do that.
Well, I was gonna say right now the gooning websites are outperforming games, and that's actually something that's new. That's actually something new.
Yeah, we
So
got a
for
lot of
too long, everybody's just gonna be on the only stuff.
we got a lot of gooners that exist in this reality.
Well, if you take away the water resource, people rather look at pictures of food if they can't eat the food, which is sad.
I don't know. I just don't think it's going to be as bad as people think it is. I think that's going to find a shelving point where the tool stops growing. And I think that once we hit that point, things will stabilize. People will find their own roles. Things will shift. There'll be a new way of living life. But I don't think we're going to have hyper intelligent AI to the point of universal basic income. But I do think we're going to have significantly more advanced tools than what we have right now.
I just don't like the idea of throwing everybody on fry cooks and just letting everybody at the top just sit there and rake in money.
And there's really honestly nothing that we can do about that. Well, I mean, you can't. So, I don't want to talk about politics, but I have to bring this up.
Yeah.
Okay? In our current environment, it's very complicated because I don't want to make anybody upset. In our current environment, neither side of the political aisle has the guts to do what needs to be done to fix the problems that we have. That's why so many people are demoralized. And just voting for your solution to happen, whether it's the solution of tax the rich or your solution of don't tax the rich, it doesn't matter. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. They've already know what they want to do. That's why people are just so dejected. And I think that the addition of something that has the potential to bring a little bit of light to somebody's life could be a good thing.
Yeah, I don't know. We're talking about replacing pretty much everything with AI, unfortunately.
Yeah, but if you replace everything with AI, the problem is, right now, we're all raised on the predication that we need to work. What if we live in a world where nobody needs to work?
So you're against universal basic income?
Yes,
but
I
you
am
believe
against
in
universal basic income. You don't need to.
income.
Yeah, well, yeah.
How does that make any sense?
Get rid of trade.
Then what?
I mean, we do live in a world of abundance to an extent. Not yet. We're not to that stage. But we've got rockets. They are researching how to mine in space. There's no reason for us to struggle over resources.
Sure, there is control.
That's not a good enough reason. And I don't think that
Well,
I don't think that you can control.
Having the everyday tard being able to build a game because they don't want to learn coding.
I don't think that you can control.
Is about the same.
I don't think you can control 7 billion people.
Sure, you can. Neuralink.
Yeah, you're not going to put Neuralink into 7 billion people. It would take way too much time and effort and money.
No, it's over time. Everything's all over a long period of time. Like if you think anything's happening, it's not pre-planned to some extent. Yes, some things were probably not in the plan, but like the grand scheme, like yeah, I believe that there's people already know what the end goal is going to be.
Well, yeah, the end goal is go to Mars.
And AI is completely freaking part of it.
The end goal is go to Mars. The end goal is not to stick here. Why would we sit around on a dying rock?
Well, we're not going to Mars.
No, of course we're not
going to Mars.
No, well, yeah, well, some of the common will go to Mars.
I don't think so.
They will. You need genetic diversity. Can't just send the elites. You can't just send the elites because you'll just wind up with a bunch of incest.
Yeah, sure you can't. Well, I mean,
they already know they can't do it because there's too many studies proving it to be the case.
The commoner will not get there. That's all
Some commoners will get there purely for genetic diversity's sake.
There's other ways of getting genetic diversity without having to take a whole bunch of scabs.
Not if you want to simulate some semblance of a society. If your idea is that you want to just live as an elite cabal, that's not going to work because you're just going to eat each other. You can't exist as a group of elites without something to control or manipulate. So I
didn't say they wouldn't have scabs. I said none of the scabs here. They wouldn't take anybody from here.
We're already going to be dead by the time all this plays out.
The normal person up there, they would already have something they were going to take themselves.
Oh, we already know this. What I'm saying is, we're going to be dead before any of this goes on anyways.
So we think. A lot of people like to say the same thing. Let someone else deal with it, or it's not my problem.
It's not my problem situation. It's that 1, we're not going to be around. 2, I don't think that it's going to go the way you think it does. I just don't. It's far too dystopian. And I've got a lot more optimism than that.
The world's pretty dystopian right now. Like, most stuff had happened, most people wouldn't ever fathom it would ever get to this point.
The most dystopian things about this world are coming from the UK. Because all they want to do is regulate shit.
Well, I mean, that's what's going to happen eventually regardless. You just said there's no way of changing it. I mean, what do you think AI is? Look at all the AI traffic cams and stuff. Like, eventually, or all the cameras in your phone. Eventually, it'll be like what is it? Flux, Elon Flux or whatever it's called, Helix Flux.
You're talking about
Forgot what it's
living in a
called,
world
but
of being completely monitored.
24 hours a day, every day. Yep.
So
Because
you
we already
mean
are, but
that?
this
What I was
time
about to
it's
say.
more
That's
like
what
you turn on
happened.
the channel.
That's
And
what happened back in 2008.
well, it's still happening. No one's in here denying that we're not being watched or anything. It's just now we're getting the access to do other stuff, track people even more and constantly, and to the point where there's gonna be no place that's gonna be free.
I don't know. I think freedom is an illusion, to be totally honest with you. I think it's always been an illusion. I think that the most that you can do is live your life with the constraints that are put upon you to the best of your ability and enjoy it to your fullest extent. I don't think that true freedom exists anywhere in the world.
Well, don't worry, it won't for too long.
I mean, it doesn't now.
There's still some places that you can actually be truly free, but it's falling. It's slowly being taken from us.
I don't think that there ever was any place that you could truly be free. So long as there's another human being around, you can't be free. Because you have a societal contract that you have to oblige by.
I think there's so many hermits.
And even in your own home, are you free? You're not free if you're stuck in your home.
Well, sure, you are. You put on your virtual reality and then you can go anywhere you want to. As the feeding tube feeds you freaking nutritional slop, and you watch ads and click and buy new nutritional slop.
I don't think we're going into the live in the pod and eat the bugs. That's not where we're going.
Okay.
AI's not quite that good. And I don't think it ever will be that good. I think that they're gonna find a hard limit to what it'll be able to do. I don't think it's gonna lead to a universal basic income world either.
No, because if AI is truly even somewhat remotely or even slightly actually is intelligent, it's eventually going to take over.
Well, no, I mean, I don't think it will get there. I think that it has a level of intelligence now, and even with some further work, it could get smarter, but I don't think it'll ever do the things that people are scared of.
But there's already been proof that some of the things people are scared of are already happening.
In controlled test environments, yes. When the AI was given specific prompts, yes. But that's also because of a human, not because of the AI. Everything all boils down to the human element.
There's no way of having the AI being 100% autonomous by itself, considering that we were there making it from the get-go.
That's exactly. There's always going to be a person involved, no matter what. AI will never get to that range where it's just building more AI to build more AI, to build more AI, to build more AI, or anything like that. I mean, yeah, they use Claude to help write Claude code, but they also had to have engineers check the code and build the code over again and feed it back to Claude, train it more data. You know,
for now.
I don't think that we're ever going to get to the point where everything's self-replicating.
We can put tracks on the ground and go through mountains and cross long distances. Not mean we can fly in the sky. Wait a second.
I didn't say that. Nothing about that.
No, but the concept's the same. Laughing at people saying, "Oh well, we can fly."
Well, I'm not laughing at people at all. I'm saying that there's a limitation to what you can do with computers.
And people thought there's a limitation of stuff you could do on Earth constantly. And there's all the times we reach points in technology or in hardware or really anything where we think there's no possible way of going farther. And how many times do people find a way to either work around it or find that solution?
Well, no, there's a way to go farther. There's also a hard limit too. There's always a hard limit. There's laws of physics.
All knowledge is absorbed. That's about it. What?
It can't absorb knowledge. How is it going to remember states? The way that the AI remembers things right now, quote unquote, is it has to write a context dialogue and feed it to itself. And if it continues to do that for forever and ever, it loses information and it forgets things.
That's where data centers come into effect.
And even with data centers fill up.
All right, with what we know right now, once again, you're basing stuff of what you know right now.
And with what we know right now,
Toshiba, or is it Toshiba? I think it's Toshiba's working on basically turning quartz crystals into hard drives that can store so much more data in a small fraction of a little bitty rock than a hard drive.
They've been working on those since 2014.
And AI's been being built since forever, and it's just now out. What's your point?
My point is that
it won't happen.
My point is that it doesn't matter if it does happen, because it's not going to impact the world the way that you think it will. I think that it doesn't matter how much data you can store. You're still going to run into a hard limit. It doesn't matter how much progress you make. There's always a finite limit to something. A good example of this: hydraulics. You can't pressurize water. That's a hard limit. That is a law of physics.
I still don't like that word law.
It's because that's the truth. That there's some things that are hard-coded reality. Like the speed of light.
It's a hard-coded reality. A law is something you can break.
The speed of light is a good example. The speed of light is a constant.
At least to how we perceive stuff. I don't know. I just know that we can't explain how everything works, and we don't even know barely how half of anything actually functions. Even stuff we guess about, like, was it helicopters make no sense written down like the blueprints? They shouldn't fly, but yet they do.
Yeah.
Everything on that piece of paper tells you it shouldn't fly with all the laws and everything, yet somehow we're able to defy it.
It's because you get turbulence. The thing that piece of paper usually doesn't account for is the fact that you're applying pressure to a space. Because air is a medium. Air is a fluid volume.
So we just figured out a way around it.
No, we used the existing constraints. Because all those papers that say that helicopters shouldn't fly don't take into account that air is actually an object. Air is a thing. Air's not just some invisible force. It's an actual tangible gas. It's an object. It's a medium.
Yeah, it even has force behind it.
Yeah, it's a medium. So you didn't work around anything. You just used the laws of physics to your advantage.
Yeah. And there's going to be people who figure out, ways around other stuff.
There's the ways to take advantage of things, but there's certainly going to be still a hard limit. You can't take a helicopter and turn it upside down and then fly upside down and then turn it back over.
Yet.
I mean, if you're going to put a propeller on the bottom of it, yeah, sure. But even then, I think that it would only have to be... It would be hard to do. That would be a massive feat of engineering. And it may not even be worth it.
And even there is a cutoff point for AI, who's to say the cutoff point for the knowledge it will learn won't be way above God tier, or what we would perceive as God?
Well, I don't think that it'll ever get that point. Because I think it'll be limited to how much it can access at one time, just like the human brain is.
Well, we're constantly coming out with how fast we can make stuff access to. That's like saying, well,
No, I'm saying
you know,
the way the human brain works. That's what we're trying to replicate with AI. That's what they're doing.
we're gonna want to make it better than the human brain. That's just phase one.
And we're nowhere near getting that done. It doesn't matter how many data centers you put up, it's not going to be enough because the human brain is so capable of housing data. The human brain is insane.
It is, and so the fact is, you can talk to a machine now, and it can tell you stuff it knows.
Kind of.
That's insane.
Not really. It's not that insane. It's something we should have been doing for 20 years.
It's not. I don't think it's gonna end good. It's not gonna be good.
I think it is.
Interesting tool, just
I think it is going to be good.
really scary technology.
I think that's why
And it's always in the wrong hands.
this is why technology doesn't progress. This is why we didn't get this 20 years ago, because people are afraid. People are scared of change and advancement. And I think that's what keeps us held back.
Change always push upon us. The changes are usually never anything good. And
Yeah,
anything
but
that actually could be good, they usually end up making those outlaw, making a lot of, so it's wrong.
Okay,
So you can't
let me put it to you this way. So we've got a coal train, and now we've got this diesel train. Do we keep using the fucking coal train, even though it costs more to operate, you have to pay workers, or do you use the steam train that can operate more efficient, or the diesel train that can operate more efficiently with less cost and less operators? You can actually transport more cargo, it's more effective for the job that you need it for, and you can eliminate like 20 jobs.
Then that's 20 people in the world you say don't need to exist anymore.
No, that's 20 people you're telling that you need to figure out what else to do with your life. See, I don't live in that whole world where a company should be obligated to keep your job around. I don't think that's a good thing. I think that prevents progress.
No, I agree with that, but it also should be easier to make said jobs, and it should be easier to get things and benefits. We don't live in a world where that's easy unless you have certain things given to you.
Because right now we're in a kind of a two-step situation. Right now you need production and you need the workforce. We're building the workforce and then the production instead of the other way around.
Well, yeah, and all anybody's doing, if you haven't noticed, is just making some kind of content for people to consume, just like basically what we're doing here.
Because it's an attention economy.
Right, but then the person that does like the plumbing is actually doing something doesn't get paid as much. That's
the person that plumbers make good money.
No, the company makes good money. The plumber does not.
Independent plumbers make a lot of money.
There's a lot of variables right there as well. There's also saturation, how good your reputation is, how many people can you actually get to, how well your truck looks.
Let's see. So yeah, they could charge about $500 just for labor for one job.
It also depends. There's a lot of variables. Not everything's just a quick Google search.
Well, no, it's not even a quick Google search thing. It was more of just when you have a plumber that does a job for a toilet replacement, for example, and your toilet costs about $220. That plumber's going to charge you about $800 to come out there.
Yeah, and a simple wax seal can cost you easily $1,000, even though that's literally what, $20.
So
10,
independent plumbers can make a lot of fucking money. Independent electricians make a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, but you also still gotta go into the training for so many years and be an apprentice before you can just start doing that
You
stuff.
don't even have to do all of that. You can go to a trade school for 4 years and be good. Don't go to college. Don't waste your money on that. Go to a trade school.
And I just think that saturates the market. Once again, that's all that shit does.
But there's always going to be demand for that kind of job. There's no way to saturate that market.
Yes, that
Plumbers,
there's always a way to saturate
electricians,
the market.
HVAC. No, you can't saturate that market. We are suffering so badly right now in those fields. Road workers, we don't have road workers. We don't have power plant workers. We don't have electricians that'll work on power lines. We're missing so many essential workers because everybody's trying to do other things.
Well, it's also because they're, once again, if you actually look up and listen to these people talk, they don't make the money you think they're making.
Some of these people do make more money than what you're talking, though. I think that people spend their money
but
dumbly.
that's like saying, well, we're on YouTube, we're gonna become Mr. Beast because he was able to do it. We can all do it.
No, there's never an assumption of that you're going to be immediately successful. You have to put the work in order to be successful. That's a requirement. If you don't put the work in, you don't expect anything. And if you go through life thinking that nothing will ever work no matter how hard I try, then that's exactly the result you're going to get. If you never try, you're never going to get anywhere.
Yeah, that's fact. If you don't try, I'm just saying being picked up, and I'm just talking about the saturation of things.
And I don't think saturation's a problem. People have been talking about saturation for years. It's not an issue. It never has been an issue because people are always wanting more content or more things to consume. I don't think saturation's a problem.
Well, saturation is not the problem for the consumer. Saturation is the problem. Is a problem for anybody trying to sell anything. Then we go back to the corporations, since they're the ones with the best tools and the ones making the stuff. They're always going to have the better quality stuff coming out. Therefore, they're going to keep being there. And your little dream of, well, I'm going to have some kind of independency or a company. Well, you really won't. You'll have.
To that, I say that's bullshit. I say that's a bullshit argument, and here's why. I think that you can find a niche. No matter what, there's always a niche to find.
If you have a niche today and you're a human, you can only post, let's theoretically say you can post once an hour. Okay, so 24 videos. Someone else gets that, pumps into an AI the idea you have, and then they pump out 40 channels pumping out the same videos. Pretty much it's word for word what you're doing. You will be lost in it.
So
and
then you need to use the tools. That's where you keep leaving this out. You need to use those tools. If somebody else is going to use those tools to compete with you in that space, then you need to use those tools as well. A, B, C. Always be cheating.
It's like asking the exact same person to do homework, but make it slightly different from somebody else, and expect the teacher never to figure out, hey, that's what this is.
That's how the world works, man. And it's not honorable, but that is how the world works. Nobody lives in an honorable world, and we haven't for a very long, long time. I'm not trying to say this to be.
I'm just trying to say if we can push stuff back, we can hold on to stuff a little bit farther. Yeah, that's the old way of thinking and stuff, but
I think
about
that
all you really got.
I think that holding us back, though, is actually a bad thing.
Right, but anytime we go forward, it's always...
There's going to be bad things no matter which direction you go.
And I would be okay if it's just one bad thing. That's the part where I'm not okay with. It seems like we get one good thing, and here's 40,000 bad things that come with it.
And what is the consequence to staying with the current thing? Nothing ever improves. Nothing ever changes.
Well, the problem with it depends on the tool, right? Like, okay, AI, no problems with it right now. Look at the people's reading levels and education. Look how they're using AI for all homework and stuff like that. Eventually, kind of like writing, also. If you go to bigger cities, they don't teach you how to write on paper anymore in high school. What they teach you how to do is keyboards.
Yeah,
So therefore, if
that's
we
back to
never
that
learn how to
argument.
write,
That's back to that argument of if it's something that the world doesn't need, then why does it exist anymore?
well, look how many remedies have been lost thanks to modern day medicine, and now we're refinding them. We're refinding them
And I think that's just a
because
matter of cataloging.
we assumed, or not assumed, I'm sorry, but they were paid off to say they were relevant, not because they truly were, because we didn't think so. Kind of like what you're talking about. There's nothing wrong with it, but if by any chance if we get attacked by EMP, electrical storm, or anything like that, what will people do? Absolutely nothing. They will not know how to write, almost not even know how to speak, because if we get neural links and stuff, people won't be talking to each other. We'll be like the aliens from the movies will be contacting these signals through our minds consciously.
And if it goes that far, I think we deserve to die.
But you're for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? I'm against it. I guess that's the difference.
Yeah, I'm for it. I think that we need to progress as a species. We need to stop holding ourselves to these standards that we've been held up to for the past however many thousands of years. And I think it's
We
time
have
to
to hold
move
those
on.
standards up because of people, though. Unfortunately, that's the problem. It's the people. It's always been people. And that's how they also take more stuff away from us, because since you can't trust people, which you can't, well, we have to put this in place, which are in hands of people, which you can't trust.
I don't think you
So
can.
what do we solve?
You can't trust people at all, no matter what. So I don't think that really matters here.
I don't know. I would still like to make my own conscious decisions in life.
I mean, you would be making your own decisions. You're not being dictated what to do by a machine.
Well, eventually you will pretty much get along with it, learn the technology, or die.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the reality of the world. How do you think it was during the Industrial Revolution? You learned how to use a fucking printing press, or you died.
Right, but in the Industrial Revolution, you could also go out into the woods, build a hut, and be left the fuck alone. Now we have AI drones that are going to come pick you up, and you can't live in the woods because it's the king's land, or the government's, whatever you want to call it.
Again, that's one of the reasons why I
If
think
I
that personal
decide to
property
opt
rights are a good thing.
out, if I decide to opt out of society, why can't I just go to the forest?
There is no opting out of society. If you live in a country, there has never been opting out of society.
And everything's touched by a country. That's another problem.
Yes. Welcome to reality.
Well, I know what reality is.
I'm not saying that to
Just
you. Like, this is how reality works. Like, this is how it's always worked. There's never been anywhere that's truly free. Even America was never truly free, because it was always like when you got the colonies, that was not free. You had a king. When you got the states formed, that was not free. You have a president. You have somebody that's in charge of you. You got Congress. You got the Senate. You've always got other people telling you how to live your life, no matter what.
Well, yeah, but how much of that do you want to be told what to do?
Well, there's always going to be limits to what it's allowed to do.
Yeah, but the more you would think that, but no. Once you can go back in history, most people think most of our rights that have been taken away would never have happened.
I don't think that. What rights are we losing right now?
I'm not going to politics.
Well, I mean, this isn't a
Like,
politics
it's really
thing.
hard to tell politics with AI.
This isn't really a politics issue, really, though. This is a genuine question. What rights would we be losing? Are we losing currently?
Say the right to free speech, the right to do,
I don't think that we have lost the right to free speech.
You don't think so?
No, I think that there's a perfectly good platform for us to speak on with free speech. I think that there's certain things that
to say certain things.
Well, yeah, there's certain things that are not protected by free speech, and that never have been protected by free speech. My argument for that is, even when this country was founded, back when the First Amendment was first created, we had blasphemy laws. You were not allowed to speak out against God in your town. That could get you sent to jail.
Yeah, and I'm against that. I would like some actual free speech.
See, that
I mean, I like
we've
but I
never
believe you should be able to say it.
we've never lived in a free speech absolutist world, is what I'm saying. So there's always been things that you're not allowed to say.
Not always.
Yeah,
You just talking about in current time.
not even in current time.
There was a point in time, if you didn't like what the leader said, you could go up and ram a sword in his chest and take over the tribe.
Not unless the other tribe didn't want you to. If the other tribe disagreed with you, they'd kill you.
Depends on what tribe you're talking about.
Name a
And
tribe.
not to mention, majority of the time, when you kill a leader of a tribe or something, you pretty much do take over their tribe unless you're highly disliked, or if they were highly liked.
I mean, yeah, if somebody liked their leader, they're gonna kill you.
Yeah, and other people just get along. Most of the time, people just get along, just fall along.
But no, I really do think that that a lot of people tend to overreact with the AI thing. I don't think it's going to get as bad as people think it will. I think that there's going to be a lot of job displacement for sure. 100%. There will be a lot of automation. There's going to be a lot of things that change.
But really, what has it in pros versus the cons? Right now, there's more cons. Like, what has it really?
Okay, what are the
outside
cons? What are the cons
ruined?
right now in your mind? What are the cons?
The cons to AI is that the people will stop learning just like they are right now. There's even studies about this, and they're just going to follow along with what AI tells them to do or what they think is right, even though it says it could be wrong. We're also losing people getting together in relationships, because what's the point if I can just have an AI tell me that everything's perfect? So that gives me a false sense of what a relationship's going to be in the first place. So when I try to go get a real one, which reads into just the end of humanity.
I argue that we were already having that issue before AI. The dating scene was already bad before AI. And that's because of politics.
Everything, yep. AI is politics. Everything is politics. Water you breathe, the air you breathe, everything's stupid politics.
I know. That's the biggest issue with the world is politics. It sucks, doesn't it? Because really, it's ultimately the things that you're worried about come down to politics. Those are the things that ultimately do decide.
Honestly, what's gonna suck about all of this, because all we see is what's being here right now. Once AI gets to a certain point, they're gonna outlaw the public use of AI, and therefore they're gonna have it.
I don't think they'll outlaw public use.
Little generic, little bitty Care Bear, not as free. Look at the internet before. That's basically what AI is right now. It's the Wild West of the internet. It will do anything pretty much for free, do all this stuff. How long before all that stuff is changed?
I think we're going to. We're not.
How long before it won't be free?
They're not going
to.
Okay,
use it.
you're already on. We're already on the subscription model situation with those. You have a free version of the tool. You have a free version of the tool that has certain abilities that it can do. And then you've got a paid version of the tool that is 10 times better. It already does that. But that's the same as like with anything. That's the difference between using Demon Tools Lite and Demon Tools Pro.
All you need to do is get a CD,
And I think
that worked.
I think that was the other thing. Right now, a lot of the things going on with AI is because we can't legislate it at all for the next 4 or 3 years. After that, you're going to start seeing a lot of legislation surrounding AI.
Yeah, and that's what I'm scared of.
Well,
because then they're gonna make. We're gonna be another fucking country where we're not gonna have access to half this stuff, and there can be other countries that have access to all these freaking hacker countries and everything else that have access to most of this
regulation.
Shit, they don't have laws.
Regulation, not in that sense. I was talking about in the sense of how much you're allowed to develop it. They're going to limit the private corporations' ability to develop AI too far. Is what the route the legislation would take.
But unless we've been living in a rock, that's what they're what they'll give to the public. That's what they're going to tell the public. You think they're ever going to?
There's always going to be a military tool for it that's going to have a different application.
Yes, where they're.
That's what you think Palantir is.
That's how that shit works. That's how that shit works.
That's
we tell people they can't do something, then we go and do it.
That's what Palantir is. It's a monitoring system.
I don't know. I just get so sick of being monetized with everything, and all AI has been being used for here lately is just more fucked up shit. Putting ads in HDMI cables, and how do we integrate more ads here, and how about ads here and ads here, and just get rid of more work over here, and
I don't know. That's just why one of the reasons why I'm wanting to use the tool for good stuff, not just to make pretty pictures or, I think there's a lot of really good things that you can get out of it. I don't think it's a bad thing. And I think that the fear is misplaced to a degree. I understand the fear. I totally get where you're coming from for it. But I just don't think that I don't think it's that bad.
We all hope it won't be that bad. We all hope we're wrong, but
well, I'm not
completely wrong.
I'm not a stupid person.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of very in-depth discussions on many different topics. And I do have a lot of unpopular opinions.
Well, that's humanity for you.
But I also try to ground my takes.
We're unique.
I try to ground my takes in reality, though. To the best of my ability.
Yeah, you can only what you see around you, the knowledge you take in. That's best. That's how you make any decision. That's everybody. At least I hope.
Now, I know that there's a lot of people that aren't going to agree with any of what I have said, and that's okay. You're allowed to have a different opinion. That's totally fine. I think you're overreacting. That's all. That's all. Not you, Nox, specifically not you. I'm just saying, calm down. Let's see what the future actually brings us. If it's bad, we'll legislate it.
The legislation's the bad part.
The legislation's the only fallback. That's the only guardrail you're gonna get.
It's not a guardrail though. It's just us being told one more thing we're not allowed to do, and they're allowed to do it.
Okay, it's not for us. I'm talking about regulating how much AI is allowed to be developed.
Yeah, but develop doesn't help any of the saturation stuff I was talking about at all.
Again, I don't really think the saturation thing is an issue.
I'm agreeing to disagree.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. But like I said, I think that there's more good than bad. And that's the show for today. Thanks for tuning in to Mixed Signals, broadcasting across space, time, and questionable Wi-Fi from the planet Florbus.
If you enjoyed the chaos, the theories, and the occasional intelligent thought, make sure you follow the show and share it with someone whose signal is just as scrambled as yours.
And don't forget,
I'm Nox,
I'm Lynx.
and we are transmitting even more mixed signals on YouTube, where we continue our mission of confusing the galaxy one video at a time.
Until next time, keep your antenna up, your frequency open, and remember,
If the signal seems mixed, you're probably receiving the right broadcast. See you next transmission.